Let's bring back criminal defense attorney, trial attorney Misty Marris. All right, Misty, certainly he's embroiled in this civil case, but are investigators on Jennifer's missing persons case watching this? Are they watching his demeanor? What do you take notice of?
Oh, absolutely. They're definitely not only watching his demeanor, they're watching the way that he testifies on the stand. This is a looking glass into what could potentially happen at a criminal trial. Also, Mike, any evidence that comes out of the civil case or any evidence that's admitted into the civil case, that could be fodder for investigators to take a look. That could serve as the basis for an investigation. That could serve as the basis for more fact-finding. And anything he says on the stand can be used against him in the context of the criminal case. So a criminal defendant testifying on the stand during a civil trial certainly opens up some risks to that defendant, because that is all under oath. So, yeah, articulate that. One slip-up could be how costly for him? It could be incredibly costly, Mike, and that's because that testimony is not going to be limited to the civil case. So this is really a dispute over this $2.5 million. Was it a gift? Was it a loan? That's the parameters of what we're talking about in the civil case. But if something comes out that could be relevant to that criminal case, Mike, that is absolutely a huge thing in the context of the criminal case. And that's because, again, whatever comes out in that testimony, any evidence that comes out in the civil trial, that can be used in the criminal case. And again, it's under oath. So that is testimony that is there forever. Remember, in a criminal case, he never has to take the stand. But this civil testimony, that could be used to further the investigation, or potentially at the trial to impugn other witnesses, or if there's evidence that needs to be refuted. So it's a big thing. That's why his criminal attorney is sitting there in the wings, waiting to object if the time comes. Something we're taking note of here, obviously what's being argued over in the civil case is, does he owe $2.5 million? But there's potential money problems with Fotis Doulos. He's paying how much for a high-price divorce? So is money, debt, is that something that could bleed into the criminal case? Certainly. Potential criminal case. Absolutely. It could bleed into the criminal case. I mean, how often do we hear that money is a motivation in committing a crime? So we don't know what facts that are coming out during the civil case could, again, lead to other avenues of investigation or could potentially be issues that come forth in the criminal case. Certainly, all of these financial records, they're going to be relevant to the pursuit for justice for the Doulos family. So certainly they're going to be relevant, and that's why everybody's keeping such a close eye on this civil case. One last thing, and we'll go back to Fotis Doulos on the stand, talking about his relationship with his father-in-law. He, on the stand, paints that to be a pretty good one after they have a fifth child together. He's part of the family. Let's listen to that.
He was like a second father to me. He was incredibly supportive. He provided advice. He provided capital over the years. And he was always there for me. All right, so, and that's what people probably think as they watch this. So he's either part of the family, but yet he stops making any kind of payments after Jennifer files for divorce. Is it part of the family, or is it a growing animosity? What are you seeing? Well, certainly, look, it's going to depend on all the other evidence that comes out during the trial. I believe that Jennifer Doulos' father had passed away at this time, so whether or not there's evidence to refute Fotis's perception of that relationship, we'll see as the trial continues on. But certainly, that's going to be a primary argument in this case. If you don't have the paperwork to back up the fact that this is a gift, that this $2.5 million is a gift, then you're going to have to base it on circumstantial evidence. Part of that critical evidence is going to be the nature of the transaction and the relationship between the giver and the recipient. So that's why we see so much focus there. Got it. All right. Misty, great work as always. Thanks so much. Thank you, Mike.